Right, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast. So we have Lisa with us today, and Lisa is based in Vienna, and she's a transformational coach and she's an author. So welcome, Lisa. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
It's lovely to connect with you. We did have a little bit of a chat beforehand, and we were talking about the archetypes. So I found that really interesting. So do you think you could just share a bit of that for our audience, please, of the things we were talking about?
Yeah, of course. So I really like to work with the archetypes because they're so much fun to play with. And I use them a lot in my coaching programs, in the constellation work. And for everyone that doesn't know what an archetype is, I might just explain a little bit. So
Yeah.
archetypes are actually like characters or codes in the collective field, like in the quantum field or in the collective subconscious. And we know, for example, the queen or the king or the magician or the warrior or the inner woman, the inner man, the inner child. So there are many different aspects of ourselves. And I like to use them with my clients for example, if you have a special occasion, like you want to go live on social media, or you have a podcast interview, or you have something important where you really want to shine and convince. So what you can do is that you just choose one of the archetypes where you feel this is something that's kind of interesting for me. It doesn't even have to make sense. It could be anything. So for example, we could use the queen, right? Because the queen stands for power, for sovereignty, for really also the ruler. The queen is the ruler, and especially for business owners. So I'm a business coach, also a spiritual business coach. It's important that you are standing in your own power and in your own truth, and you really put your stake into the ground, right? So and the constellation work that I'm doing has a lot to do with the body, like embodiment practice, because if you want to manifest, it's not enough to only think of it or visualize or even feel it. You really have to be it. That's the secret sauce. That you start to just act as if, and you really bring the energy into the body, or it's almost like a channeling. You kind of draw it from the universe into the body, and you really start to sit in it and be it. And even if it's a little uncomfortable in the beginning, that doesn't matter at all, because growth is always uncomfortable, right? If we
Yeah.
want to grow, we will always feel uncomfortable. So maybe we just do the exercise like together. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I, and then the people that watch, the audience, can also do it along with us.
Yeah.
So you can probably just close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And let's call in the inner queen. And also you can, for example, imagine you have a crown on your head, or you have the scepter of power in your hand. And you might just think of something that's really important for you right now, like a goal or a vision you have, or a next step on your journey. And now you can even take your hand and make the gesture and just put the stake into the ground and really claim your power. And now feel what is changing in your body when you do this gesture.
Yeah. You can feel your energy shift, can't you?
It is, yeah. It's so immediate. Like I feel it, for example, in my feet. Yeah, it's very grounding for me when I put the stake into the ground. Yeah, it's a grounding gesture. And it's also very slowing down. And it's very much like, okay, this is it. Like a decision, right? This is what the queen is like, she's the ruler and she's deciding. And what she says, this is it, right? So there is no doubt. And many people have problems with decision making. There is so much uncertainty, and so much time delaying. And I really like, one of my teachers was Bob Proctor, and he always said,
Oh,
just,
okay.
make a decision real quick, like not
Yeah.
even a second. That's what I try to practice in my own life, and it's what I teach. When
Yeah.
I have to make a decision, I just make a decision. I just trust my instinct, my intuition, my gut. And when I make the decision, I also trust the decision.
Yeah.
That's the second step, because many people make the decision quick, but then they start to doubt it.
Yeah.
But you
Overthink it. Yeah.
and you kind of, go back and go into the negative loop. So I think that's important. And as with the archetype of the queen, for example, you can use it. You can use, and it's interesting that now we're talking, you live in England. So the
Yeah.
queen is a very, I think it's probably more in your culture than in ours, for example, in
Yeah.
Austria. Because we don't have a monarchy. We did have a monarchy, but now
Okay.
we don't, right?
Yeah.
So you can use the archetype or the codes, like the light codes, the information in the field,
Yeah.
really bring it into your body and then start to send it out again
Mhm.
to specific locations, specific occasions, meetings you have, and play with it. That's what I like. I think transformation should be playful. I
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I think it shouldn't be a serious thing. The world is serious enough. So we don't have to make it so serious and hard. We can just play a little bit and have fun. And
Yeah.
the more you have that playful attitude, the easier you also can shift and change. That's also the paradox, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so this is the archetype. And then another one we talked about was the diva,
Yeah.
which I also like, because the diva, in the collective consciousness, and I think it comes from patriarchy, that we look at the diva as something too much, and we say, like, sometimes we say this, she's a diva. But actually, in the purest sense, the diva is she's very elegant, and she knows her worth, and she also knows to receive. That's what the diva does. She receives admiration and recognition, and she likes to shine. That's what she does. And I think being more of a diva and really allowing ourselves to shine and allow each other to shine is super important also for the women,
Yeah.
and not to tear each other down and be, all the old paradigm of being jealous and competition. So I think the diva is also a really nice archetype.
Yeah, I like that one. So how do you embody that one?
Yeah, so you can just, again, you can close your eyes and just think of her and really call her in and just notice what is changing in your body, in your posture, in your breath. So for me, for example, I'm always like I'm always starting to be more laid back. When I'm in the diva, I'm like I'm really relaxed, and I want things to come to me.
Yeah.
I'm like just I'm easy, I'm relaxed, it's very playful also. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very soft and feminine. Yeah. The
Yeah.
queen maybe has more like it's more power and it's more maybe even more masculine in a way because
Feels like more structure when you
yeah,
think
there
about
is a structure exactly. Yeah. And the
it. Yeah.
diva is like music. The diva is just
Bring it
inspiration.
on.
And, and we have this here in Vienna. This is Vienna. I just
Yeah.
yesterday we had the opera ball, and
Oh, wow.
I like to go. I didn't go yesterday, but I like to go to balls and dance. And I think this is the energy of Vienna. You have the beauty,
Yeah.
the music, the dance. It's sensuality. It's fun.
Mm.
It's sparkling. That's the diva, and we need that.
Mm.
We need
It
that energy.
sounds wonderful. You sold it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I must visit.
Yes, you have to come. Yeah, Vienna has a lot to offer. Yeah. Mm.
So we talked also as well that we do something similar. So we work with trauma, but you have a different way of expressing how you actually work with your trauma clients, don't
Yeah.
you? Would you like
Yeah,
to explain that
similar
to us?
things. Yeah, so I'm also an intuitive channel, so we have similarity in that. And I do also healing, like quantum healing, and then the special method I developed is called focus constellation work.
Mhm.
And this is it comes from systemic constellation work, and we really go into the family system dynamics. And we look at the generational traumas, like how they really come from one to the next generation, and we
Yeah.
kind of inherit them in our subconscious. And a lot of it is just karmic and systemic burdens, packages that we have to kind of deal with. It's a
Mm.
contract. That's how I look at it. When we come in as a soul, we have certain contracts. And with the grace, with the divine grace and with constellation work, it's really easy to resolve it in a very fast and playful manner. That's what I like.
Yeah.
With the archetypes and with the role plays, you can just play with it, and things can shift really quickly. And I think that's important right now, that we
Mm.
have methods that really are led by divine grace and that allow us to shift very fast from fear to love, or
Yeah.
from anger and hate to compassion. And it's super important also in the collective field right now, because there's so much going on, so much division and fear and worries. And I also like to do collective constellation work, where we really look at global topics,
Mm-hmm.
societal topics, and we invite healing and the healing powers of the masters, for example, also into
Yeah.
collective and global situations.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you work with galactics?
No, I actually do work with the Ascended Masters.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my main team.
Got a
And
favorite?
yeah, and then I also have a living teacher, a master teacher who is still alive, who is my main teacher that helps me in my work. Um, and yeah, and then mainly just divine, I just source consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go directly to source and help people really connect with their own higher self and truth. I
Mm.
think that's the best we can do.
Yeah, I mean, everything's in the quantum field, and that is like pushed around a lot, isn't it, nowadays? But I've seen a lot of people transition into just working in the quantum field. It seems like a lot of people like us that are mediums, channels, psychics, whatever you want to call this, have now transitioned to just working into the quantum field and just getting all the information from there. That is a lot easier, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's very direct, yeah. And it's maybe more scientific than using the metaphor of a master. Some people just don't relate to that so much. So I also try to really I tune in with the perspective of the client and what they need, and how it can be really different. For some, it's super easy to connect with masters. For some, it's like, I don't know what that is. I need a more like down to earth approach. So, and we have to be able to be flexible and in the way we work and connect with the clients. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating. So you've written a couple of books as well that I saw on
Yeah,
your website.
exactly.
Will you tell us about those?
I can. Yeah. So this is my first book. It's called Soul Creation, the power of source aligned manifestation. So this is really about finding your soul's purpose, and also when you know your soul's purpose, just manifesting true abundance from within. And so I'm talking about the laws of the universe, the law of attraction, law of resonance, and also using the power of synchronicities and miracles, how we can create miracles or invite them into our life. And this makes it much easier also than just trying to do it ourselves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so that is the first book, and then the other one is called The 10 Dimensions of Crisis. And this is really a book of hope. And this was really a download or a channeling. It just came to
Okay.
me. It was, I think, 2 years ago, and I just sat down in my flat, and I was like 6 weeks. I was just in my cave writing, and I just knew I have to finish. And it was yeah, it was very moving for me to write the book. And yeah, this book is really, I want to help people to find new perspectives on dealing with crisis and trauma and pain and experiences of loss also, and
Mm.
also the collective crises, that we're facing, how we can, yeah, just have a different viewpoint and really see it as a part of evolution, and an opportunity for evolution, and not something that's bad, not something that's
Yeah,
against us, but actually it's something that's for us, because it wants to help us to wake up. That's how I look at
yeah,
trauma. It's happening for me. Of course, in the moment, many people don't have not cannot see it that way because it's too overwhelming and you need help to really find your strength again. But when you heal, you will see that it happened for you. And I
Yeah.
think that's the beauty of it. Yeah, it always has like these two sides. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. I do get where you're coming from with that. So what sort of tips or anything can you give somebody that's going through a really difficult time at the moment that would help them calm their nervous system down and maybe perhaps get them back on track a bit so they can even seek help? Because I know when a lot of people are going and they're feeling a really dark place, they just don't know where to go, do they? They don't know who to turn to, and
Mm.
nothing seems to be clear to them. So,
Yeah, I mean, maybe one of the things that is really important is to yeah. Yeah, now you're back. You were frozen for a second, but now you're back.
okay.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a little bit what you were saying, that people freeze, when you have a
Yeah.
trauma or shock, it's like you start to freeze. And I talk about 5 levels of crisis or phases. So often in the beginning, you feel like shock and you freeze and it's like numbing, you have no idea
Mm,
what to do. And I mean, I think it has, you have to come back to the basics, when you really have a crisis. I always, I mean, I did have things happen to me that were really hard, and I would like, okay, what do I need right now? I need to eat, I need to sleep, I need to talk to a friend, I need to call my mom. These are like basic things, and that's it for the moment. And if I only focus on that, it can get better every day, just focus on one day at a time, and
mm,
then get help as soon as you can. Just ask for help. And if you don't have someone around that you can ask for help, like a therapist or a counselor or a coach, just ask spirit. We can always pray. And I do find that when we really pray from the bottom of our hearts, that help is given. And we are going to meet the right people. And then also just trust, even if you don't see the full picture, trust that there is going to be some value and some growth in that experience.
yeah.
So, and also maybe one thing that I think it's important is even if you feel bad, start to give.
Mm,
This is going to make you happy. We sometimes we are very like focusing on ourselves when we go through something. Of course, we need to kind of cave in and we have to process and grieve. But as soon as we start to help others, we will feel that we have something to give,
yeah.
and then something is flowing through us. So I think that's something important. Even if you don't feel well, you can always give something or just smile at someone, and then
Mm,
the energy also changes.
yeah. It shifts the focus, doesn't it?
Keep the focus. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I know, like when I do my groups and that, and I do stuff online, and people message me and say, "Oh, I don't feel well. I don't want to do it today." But then I think to myself, well, sometimes I don't feel 100%, but I do
yeah.
it because I get the benefit of it. So I don't quite get the logic
Exactly.
in that.
That's
I think this
exactly
is
what
when you should be doing it, you
I
know?
know. Yeah, that's exactly what I tell my people. Especially, I'm in my my training. I do a coaching
Yeah.
training where I train coaches, and I have supervision. When we come together once a month, and then
Yeah.
often I hear, well, no, I didn't feel well, so I had to cancel the session, or no, today I'm not feeling well, and I'm always like, it really doesn't matter at all how you feel.
Yeah.
It's not about you. And
Mm,
also, even if you feel not well, it's going to make you feel better when you help someone else.
yeah.
That's what I experience. When I have a really bad day, I'm never going to cancel anything because
Yeah.
I'm going to do the job and I know it's going to help me. It's going to realign my own energy when I help
Yeah.
someone else. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I never cancel anything. And because I just think, well, it's going to shift my whole mindset. It's going to shift my energy. I'll probably get back on track. So
Yeah.
just do it.
Especially when you're doing this kind of work, when you're
Yeah.
channeling. I think
Yeah.
that's the beauty. That's something we get so much when we are connected with
Mm,
these higher fields of consciousness, because it helps us, when we channel or we let the energy work through us,
yeah.
it helps our own energy shift. And I mean, that's the best job in the world. That's something so like I enjoy it every day. It makes me so happy. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So you said like as also earlier you're into your music. What sort of music do you like? Do you play it or do you
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, I did play when I was young, in my young adult life. I learned piano and violin, and I did play in an orchestra for a while. And then I had a phase where I just let it go. I was really a lot into meditation and
Mm.
traveling a lot and spirituality. And then it came back again, the music. I was playing again in the orchestra, and then I had to let it go. And then now it came back again, actually. And I just love music. I love to listen to music. I think
Yeah,
it's really connecting us to the divine also. And it's yeah, it's very, oh, of course it's very much connected to Vienna also, because Vienna is the city of music. And we can go to the opera house, we can go to the concert hall. And yeah, I just love music. Yeah.
yeah. I understand that considering what you do as well, because like all the different tones have a
Mhm.
healing frequency, don't
Yeah,
they? Do you think
exactly.
you're healing yourself while you're doing playing your music?
Yeah, yeah. And also when I think when we listen to music,
Yeah,
it is for me it's very activating. It's very like I don't know, it helps me shift my energy when I listen to
yeah.
music. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever I do my meditations with my group and stuff, I always give them a frequency music to play in the background so
Yeah.
they get that to help them relax. And that's
Yeah.
sort of working as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? The tones of it. So I think that's really nice rather than doing it in silence. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
You work with crystals or any other things?
No, not really. I don't know. It never really spoke to me.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I never really connected to stones so much.
okay.
I'm more, it's more in the like really on the psychic and mental field,
Mm,
and not so much with stones. Yeah, no, it never
yeah,
really.
yeah. More grounded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what would you say to people that are trying to manifest something in their life right now and it doesn't seem to be showing up? See, like when I do this is a funny story actually. When I went to the gym yesterday, like I see the double numbers a lot. I get 11, 11,
Mhm.
14, 14. I get them all. They show up all the time.
Yeah.
And I have this little rhyme that I say to myself. It's on my thing, and it's quite uplifting. And I was in the gym yesterday. It came up on my phone, 11:11. So I'm now, and this bloke was going, "What is she, a loony or something?" So I've got to get through my rhyme, and I've got to do it 3 times.
Yeah.
Gonna just walk on and go on the treadmill. So I have my little thing. When I see 11:11, I know that I have to shift my mindset slightly, and
Mm.
then I bring this energy into it. So I sort of look out for things like that. When I start to manifest something, I look and I know that will be given the numbers. And that will be the starting for me to know that, yeah, something's coming to me. I've started to manifest it. And I just look up the meanings, can never remember them. But do you have anything that shows up for you when you're
Yeah.
manifesting?
Yeah, I do have a lot also the numbers. Yeah, I look a lot at numbers. And just, like general language of the universe, just synchronicities. I really pay attention to those. And it's happening so much, just things that are so like, like how you say coincidental.
Yeah, yes.
So this is something we have to learn to pay attention to, because otherwise we just miss it, it's there and we don't see it. And then maybe I think the main thing or the main tip or advice I would give people that want to manifest something is really trust the universe that the right thing is going to happen. If something is not happening, it's for the best, If you try to manifest something, let's say, for example, like you want your ex-partner back. That's a classical, yeah. And because he left you or something like
No,
that.
thank you.
It just doesn't happen. So it's really for your best. Or if you're
Yeah,
praying for a relationship or for a business success and it's not happening, it's because it's not meant for you.
yeah,
And the universe and God is protecting you. It's a protection. And we have to be more humble. We can't of course we can manifest, but we can't control everything because we have a free will. There is also something that's, I mean, there is higher, like there is the law of karma, for example. So sometimes we just have to wait, and it's not possible to manifest it. And I think with humility and with humor, it's easier. than
Yeah.
with, okay, now I know and I have to manifest, and just really trust that the things that are meant for you, they will come at the right time. And the things that are not manifesting, they're just not supposed to happen right now. Maybe it's going
Yeah.
to shift. And really tune in with what is it like, what do you really want? That's why I called my book Soul Creation, The Power of Source Aligned Manifestation, which
Mm.
is really, first of all, you want to tune in with your soul and really connect with it and really listen to it. And then you can define your goals and your visions. And you just,
Mm.
many people forget about that important step. They just write down, this is what I want, and this is what I want, and this is what I want, and this is what I want. It becomes very like ego-centered, which is not my approach, it's more, I don't know. I think we have to always be more humble and really look at the bigger picture also, like how can we as an individual contribute to a
Mm.
collective healing, to a collective evolution, and not only fulfill our own personal wishes and needs, This is,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just the way I like to look at it. Mm.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you think, people get out of alignment, don't they? I've been there myself when I've been out of alignment with something, and you start trying to force something to happen, and eventually you get the message that it's not for you, so you need to change. But some people can't get the message, can they? And they just keep forcing it and forcing
Yeah,
it, and nothing happens, and they just get in a worse situation. So I think if you tune into yourself and just see what is actually going on here. This is the point of us doing these meditations and the group things that we do, to give people the tools so they can go in to find out what their thing is. They can be completely off purpose. They might
yeah.
want to be, say, a musician, and they're not meant to be a musician. They're meant to be, I don't know, a counselor or something. Do you know what I mean? But they keep trying and trying and trying.
Yeah, 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 and it's just creating more pain and more frustration also. If it's not meant for you, it's also not resonating. It's like if it's a form of energy, I think. You feel it's not really resonating with your whole being.
Mm,
And of course, some things will take time. So if it's meant, even if you try and it's not happening, but you feel it's resonating with your higher self and your heart also, then I
mm,
would just keep going and try and try and try. But if it's not really making you happy also, I would just let it go,
yeah.
and change. And there are so many things that we can accomplish and do, and it's not meant for everyone, to do this or that. Mm.
Yeah, I think getting past the old programming is a big thing, isn't it?
And also celebrate each other and
Yeah.
every little step of the way. We don't have to just, often in the that's what I found a little toxic often in the spiritual communities, that it can
Mm,
get like a rush, or a race, who is the
yeah.
fastest on the path to awakening. And I find it so bizarre, because this is not what it's about. And
Yeah.
it's more about being present and humble and loving each other and not achieving anything. Achievement, of course, it's a result and it's something we can measure, yeah, and it's important. But I think it's more like who we are in the process of achieving, how we treat each other, what we really extend, and what the motivation is and the purpose.
Mm,
It's totally different. For example, let's say you want to write a book and you want to write it because you want the recognition of being an author. That's the main thing. Or you want to write a book because you really want to inspire people.
yeah.
So it's a different attitude and a different energy that you're going to send out if you make it about others.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I
Yeah.
think the ego gets in the way a lot of, isn't it? Some
And
of the
really
spiritual
thinking,
stuff.
and it's not even in duality, because the others is this is you, this is just a reflection of ourselves. So if I'm helping others, if I make other people happy, I'm helping myself. I'm
Yeah.
helping my own growth. And
Yeah.
if we come from singularity consciousness, there is like it's not, you really see it's not about you. It's really about something bigger, and each of us is important, but in the end it's just something bigger that's going on. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think of it as well, celebrating others and being saying nice things about other people and stuff, it sort of helps build your good karma.
Yeah,
It's a nice
exactly.
thing around
Yes.
you, doesn't it? Rather than being in that negative space. So yeah, I don't really ever come from that space, if you like. I'd rather stay but in my solo, in my own lane, than have to interact with people like that. It doesn't,
Mhm.
it's not good, is it?
Yeah, yeah. But it's true. We create good karma and bad karma.
Yeah,
Yeah. I believe that. Yeah. Mm.
yeah. So where do people find your books then? I think, are they on your website? Are they on Amazon or?
Yes, they are on Amazon, mainly on my website. So maybe we can link my website with
I
the
will
video. I think
definitely.
that's the easiest, or the books also. I can send you the links and
Yeah,
can find me and connect with me and also read the books. Yeah. Mm.
yeah. I'll put everything below the video,
Yeah.
so people can go in. It's also done as a podcast as well. So if people are
Oh, yeah.
listening, so I'm not sure how that works, but maybe you can say where they can find you if you want to say your website.
Oh yeah, it's Lisa, www.lisawallner with double L.com. Yeah. Mm.
Okay, yeah, lovely. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
Um, Maybe just enjoy life, that's something I like. I mean, we never know how much time we have. That's like we're so blessed, to have been given a human lifetime and to have been given our talents and to have been given the wonderful people we meet and really appreciate the time and use it and just do the things we want to do and just enjoy it. I think that's the most important thing. Mm.
I think so too. I mean, there's a lot of souls up there waiting to come down, and
Yes.
there's people walking around miserable, wishing they weren't
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When there's other people
Wasting
waiting.
time or just, yeah, and many people
Yeah,
like wasting time, just
yeah.
not using the time and just thinking all the time and
Mm,
instead of really, I mean, this is a golden opportunity. This is a golden ticket.
yeah,
And it's like we have to celebrate
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, I suppose it is a game, really, and you play the part in your own
Yeah,
movie as well, don't you? So if you want to live like that, then that's your choice, isn't it? You can shift it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you for today. I've really enjoyed chatting to you. So I'll link everything below so people can find you and pop you up on my pages and on social media so we can connect that way and people can click through and jump onto your website and see what you do. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I've really enjoyed
Yeah, thank
that.
you so much too. I really enjoyed your energy also. It was very lovely, like just, the energies of both of us. I really
Yeah.
liked it.
But before I jump off, right, your screen was flickering quite a lot. I don't know if you noticed
I
it.
know it, yes, it has to do with my camera. It just,
Ah,
I'm just, yeah, it's been that for a while, but I think it's okay still. Maybe I have to change the camera. Sometimes it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's something
But
that.
I did see an Orco pass, so if you look
Oh,
back,
you did? Oh, maybe that was your,
so maybe
yeah.
you've got a bit of interference going on. There might be
Probably it's
the
the energy.
tuning.
Yeah, yeah, probably it's the energy. Yeah, yeah, that's possible too.
Yeah, yeah. So I see this orb fly past, and I thought, oh, I wonder if there's a bit of interference going on. Wants to be recognised. I am not working. I'll leave you to tune. Oh, thank you ever so much for today. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you too, and thanks to your audience, and wishing everyone happy weekend and happy, yeah, everything.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.